Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. We may as well just kick this off. We are doing the series. I have the pleasure of doing this, which is sort of what's in the pipeline and what's new and what's coming in Adroit. And it's my pleasure to present this to you. My name is Dave Wibberley. I'm the Managing Director of Adroit Technologies. And as you know, we've done a series of webinars, and this is I think my third one. So I'm pretty excited about that. So without further ado, we'll just go straight into what's coming, and let's go with it. All right, so there's some really exciting stuff coming. I'll just go through. This is the agenda, if you want, of the presentation, and we're going to start off with what's due for release at probably in July. We are targeting end of June, but of course our release will be July, and that's Adroit 10.05, and I'll be going through some of the features that are available in there. And then of course Adroit Enterprise OEE, and Peter Reichart has done, I think, three presentations on that so far, and that will be scheduled for release on Q3. We're just getting documentation and final installs, working on that. And that's a pretty exciting opportunity for manufacturing companies and customers looking to extract more efficiency out of their equipment. Then I have done a presentation on the sort of IoT, the OPCUA and Edge Gateway, which is a separate product we'll be bringing out as a sort of competitor to the likes of Matricon and Kepware. Only it's only better. We call it the Super OPC, if you want to, and that's again Q3 this year. Adroit Ignite, again, this is the first time I'm presenting this to anybody, but we are looking at a more global strategy around e-commerce, where we have changed the makeup, if you want to, and the functionality of Adroit, calling it Adroit Ignite, and again that should be available in Q3. We're busy working on the website for that and the e-commerce backend. And then very exciting is our Adroit Historian and its client-side processed analyst and trending tools. That's been in development for quite a while, and again I think that's going to be a very exciting opportunity for all of us. So let's just go through each of those. Adroit version 10.05 or Maps 4.05, I think it is. The main features and benefits, and again I'm not going to do detailed ones on this, but there's a new service manager for proactive troubleshooting. There's a server activity monitor, again a new and revamped, which gives you detailed running statistics on the health of the agent server, or servers for that matter, in your network. And then we've done a lot of work over the last probably 2 years stitching in the smart data services architecture, which was really built for enabling the new Historian, and uses technologies such as Windows Communications Foundation and other tech to transfer historical and access data across a TCP/IP link. Then other stuff that's coming, we've rewritten the DB query agent, added quite a lot of enhancements around there, and then in parallel with that we've done a new database behavior, which allows you to execute queries and return results from the UI very easily. And again, I'll touch on that. And by the way, this is not an exhaustive list. We've obviously done a number of performance improvements, as well as a host of bug fixes and other tech inside the product. We're also releasing a new enhanced user-defined trend configurator based on feedback. We have new drivers coming in, including the OPCUA server and client, MQTT, all about the new IR4, as well as IoT, and then the Sigfox driver and objects, the FAG Smart Check, which is the Mitsubishi relationship we have with FAG, which is the very smart condition monitoring device, which you can now communicate directly from Adroit. And within Maps we have, or in Adroit we have an object that allows you then to visualize that and access the the smart check itself to be able to analyze the vibration from your equipment. And then of course we have the BACnet driver, which has been developed and sewn in. So those will all become standard drivers that will be released with version 10.05. And at the end I've tacked it on, and again I think Werner has done a very nice webinar on Adroit Air and how to provision for it. But that is now going through certification on iOS. So when we release 10.05, we'll be releasing the Adroit Air app on both Apple and on Android. So these are just two screen grabs if you want. On the left hand side you'll see the new DB query agent. And again, I'm not going through the details of that, but you can see you can trigger queries. You can do custom queries. You can have a look and see what the results are. And again, on the right hand side you will see the behavior dialog. So again, you just go to any object, right click, add behavior, and then you can add a database behavior, select the data source, select the query that you want, or you can custom write a query and return the results into, let's say, a grid control or something like that. So those are two enhancements. Again, I'm just touching on a few of these things. And then the new a few enhancements to the trend configurator, which is the user-based control, which allow you to on the fly create your own trends if you want to. And we've added quite a few enhancements to that, including bigger buttons as an option on the top. You can see on the right hand side, which is more ideal for touch screens than what we had before. And we're looking forward to having that deployed, or you being able to use it. I'll mention it now, but Damian has from Poland, our support engineers from Poland have developed an advanced alarm viewer. It's in trials at the moment, so it is on the knowledge base. If you want to access it, it gives you a much richer view of your alarm system, and feel free to go to the knowledge base and try it and give us your feedback if you use that and try it out. But I haven't put it on here because it's not being released with 10.05. Of course, I'm going to just touch on OEE because I think there are some people here that maybe didn't watch all of Peter's presentations, but it is a very exciting part of our offering to the manufacturing environment. And so it really comes out in Q3. We are products finalized. We are finalizing documentation, and Gruben, that's nice that you commented there on the bigger buttons. Yeah, sure. We do listen to our customers a little bit, so hopefully that will make your life a bit easier in deploying that control. So we've extensively modified the OEE agent to sew into it to be able to create a more enterprise level offering if you want to. It offers integration into works orders and returning results back into ERP based on your OEE performance. It's tightly integrated to a new shift agent, which gives you much more flexibility around structuring of your shifts, more in line with the actual way any enterprise works. We have it running at Silverton Engineering, who do a huge amount of work for people for some of the motor manufacturers, where they press doors and metal parts. So they've deployed this on, I think, 25 presses, and it's working really well. That's where we've ironed out a lot of the problems. It comes integrated with an FX5 as a box with a light stack, which then gives you status and much more visual control on your manufacturing process and shop floor management. So it gives you status of machines. So from a long distance, you can actually look and see very quickly what the status is. And of course, I'm not going into the details. If you want to watch that, you can watch Peter Reichardt's very good presentations on the enterprise OEE offering. And then, of course, it's got graphic forms, which are in the standard Adroit Smart UI. And it offers integrated real-time and historical management reports for analyzing and understanding the OEE and the production environment in your situation. So again, a very exciting offering. And if you're in a manufacturing environment, certainly post-COVID, you really want to start looking at, and you're not deployed OEE, please come and talk to us about that opportunity. Right, equally as exciting is that we are spinning out a new product, which is our OPCUA server and our Edge Gateway, which is, again, will be sold over the e-commerce platform as well through our normal channels, which will allow you to deploy a product very similar to Kepware, but just smarter, in that you'll have the full capability of the agent server and the agents. So you'll be able to just use it as a data acquisition platform, using all our drivers, and then enabling the ones that you want, the slots that you want, or tags, out into the real world as the OPC server. Alternatively, you can then manipulate the process data using our agents, and then take the results out as OPC items northbound, either into other applications within your organization. Alternatively, you can use it to send data to the cloud, although our Edge Gateway incorporates that ability, as you may have seen in my previous presentation, where you can literally map data from your agents and your agent server and deploy that data directly into Microsoft Azure, which I think is a real game changer when it comes to being able to take advantage of those things such as AI and machine learning technologies up in the cloud. We just allow you to really put the data up there securely, safely, and easily from your Adroit agent server, or you can deploy this as a separate application in the world. And we're going to be selling that and marketing it hard into the global environment. So there we go. And as you know, OPC at a chip level is being pushed pretty hard. So a lot of manufacturers are coming out with OPC UA on devices. And if you add that to it, you'll be able to use our OPC client side to talk to that sort of equipment in your field. And you can then use our drivers that talk to your host of standard PLCs and RTUs in the fields, Mitsubishi, it's Modbus, etc. And then once you've got it into the agent server, you'll be able to then expose exactly what you want in the OPC server side of the Smart UI, and then use that to other line of business applications. And we have a customer, I can't remember where it is, somewhere, where in fact they have 11 client side applications feeding off that data from their server. So we'll be able to compete in that environment, and you'll be able to buy it staggered like our agent server, where you can buy it as a small system and then grow your tags as and when you need. So that's where it's going to sit in your environment, and just use our agent server as your OPC server. The Edge Gateway, as you know, so southbound, that's on the south of the agent server. I talk about that in terms of what it talks to in the field. And you can talk to a host of applications and IoT devices using our standard MQTT. And then northbound, you'll be able to then map directly into the cloud through our native cloud application, or again, taking MQTT and taking data into some cloud services. You can use OPC UA for that. That's a little bit more complicated because you need a third-party application up in the cloud. That's why we've introduced native cloud. And then of course you can use it just as a data acquisition and build your own, use our web service interface. You could build your own custom UI. Alternatively, you can use our SCADA, or you can use the Adroit Air to look at your data. So very open, and again, you can take data from here directly into Cytect, Iconics, Wonderware, and a lot of these products, in fact, don't have drivers. So Adroit is a good offering as your data acquisition gateway. As I alluded to a little bit earlier, Adroit Ignite, we're calling it, is our e-commerce HMI, due for release in Q3. It'll be post 10.05 because that's the platform that we're building it on. It'll only be available online, and what we mean by that is you'll purchase it via a website using an e-commerce platform. We've changed the licensing because the globe doesn't really know about our scan-based licensing, and it sometimes is a little bit confusing. So we're talking about agent-based licensing now. So it does change things, and we've taken out quite a few agents to make it a bit more simple because it's an HMI. We're going to be offering an 8-agent free version of that, and then you'll be able to buy a 30, 75 and 150 agent system, and the clients really are limited to 2 UIs on that product. Obviously no redundancy. It's looking at the lower end market, and certainly we believe that that's going to be an exciting opportunity for the product, and it really is focused on small system builders, SIs, OEM, and guys at home that just want to go and have a decent SCADA HMI as an interface, but there's nothing really on the market, and they don't have the skills to build it, and they don't have the money to be able to go out there and try something as a user interface. So we think that's a great opportunity to get Adroit more into the global market, and we're looking forward to the results of that. And then last but not least, the Adroit Historian. It's been in the making for a while. A lot of customers have asked us for this, and I think a lot of people are saying if you don't have a historian, we can't really compete in the marketplace. I'm not so sure of that, because I think the standard Adroit offers great historian. But this is about centralizing your data from many agent servers. And we've sewn in the new SDS, or Smart Data Services technology, into 10.05. And really made it easy to be able to centralize your agent server data into a single historian setup if you want to. And really we've made it very easy to be able to set it up. And so what really it does, it centralizes the storage of data log, but through the same services will allow you to access remote access to alarm management data and events in using TCP/IP. So again, that makes it much easier to work over WAN, LAN, within IT environments, and even over the web. Then on the client side of things, we're talking about delivering it with 2 controls: our process analysis control and the enhanced trend control. So you'll be using the same operator, the same installation. We will look at deploying a web control at a later stage, but as first release you'll get these 2, which will, and I'm going to go through one of those things right now. I've shown you the enhanced trend control. We certainly may enhance that a little bit more for the historian, but here we go. And some idea around SDS. I'm not going to go through all of these points. To say that the results of compression, which is really the key to being able to transfer data over TCP/IP and make it efficient, is again, I'm not going to go through this in detail, but you can see we got almost 90% compression ratios to using the new technology, and you can see the 86,000 in the compression point, 86,000 records compressed down to 1.6 megabytes and then transferred. That is quick and really consumes very little bandwidth. So you can see that's enabled us to be able to transfer data and access data using SDS across even tighter links if you want to. So we're pretty excited about the results. Have been phenomenal in terms of data transmission. So that's all been sewn, and that's obviously all back-end stuff. And we'll be bringing out more of this in the next little while. From a client side of things, these are just some of the screen grabs that I've taken from the work that Rodney's done in terms of the process analyzer. This is the setup screen where you literally, it's a graphic form. It'll give you a visualization of what the status is, whether you're connected to this gives you really a central view of both your audit data, your alarm data, and your historical data of any tag or object within Adroit. And that's a bit of a result. This is you'll see on the right hand side, I've connected and I'm showing logs, audit, system, and alarms. And you can select whatever you want to see here by ticking them off. And then in the UI, you will see that as you can set up the time frame that you want to look at, and based on what you've selected, the context view, and you can just browse random data in, or you can, in fact, if you're using templates and objects in the Adroit object model, if you want to, you can select a part of the plant maybe that you've set up that is a pumping station that has a number of objects or tag values, and if you select the pump station as an example, it'll bring back everything that's been logged for the pump station as well as what's been associated with those tags in the log data, the audit data, and the alarm data. So it's going to give you a complete view of your system, and that's, I think, going to make it very much easier to do holistic analysis and fault finding. So on the left hand side, you'll see I've selected that system audit, and you'll see that's the dark green, and that if I clicked on it, it's shown me what that was, that in fact someone saved the agent server. But equally, if I clicked on, as I go through the hierarchy, or as I go through the trend control, I can select and turn on different aspects of the what I'm looking at, and I can see here that at that point in time, you can see here that in fact the value changed from 600 to 500, and you can see in that time frame those are the two values that were changed. So it allows you to look at process data, events, alarms, and I think it's going to be a very interesting, and we're going to be deploying it on some real sites in the next testing phase, and see what results we can get to see how we can then use it to modify the if you want to, help you analyze your plant if you want to make it a bit easier, instead of having to again look at different logs, alarm sheets, alarm management. We give you a sort of holistic view of what you've got sitting out there. All right, I'm getting comments here. Ruben, welcome. I see there's some results coming through, so if anybody's got any questions, please wrap them up, put them up on the presentation, or type them up there, and I can see what I can do to answer. And whilst I wait for those to come through, maybe we could just a conclusion, just to thank you very much for sharing your time. Certainly I hope that you've learned something today. Please click and like and subscribe, and also click on the bell icon so that you can receive notification and not miss out on any of our live webinars. Tomorrow's webinar is the next in our Adroit project engineering series, and it covers the topic of creating wizards and associated templates, and it'll be presented by Dean Gibson at the usual time of 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So, So I hope I've enlightened you a little bit on what's coming. And in addition, if you have any suggestions around this presentation, alternatively any other presentation you'd like to see, I can please send your email to samanthab@adroit.co.za, and then we'll certainly look to doing that. Just to remind you that we are changing down, because as we open up, I'm sure you're getting a lot busier. We'll only be doing 2 events a week from next week, and that's on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I think. But Sam will send out the notification on that. So we look forward to hosting you at another of our events. And again, we thank you so much for attending this. And if there are no other questions, I'll just quickly have a look and see. And if there's nothing, then I will certainly log off now, and you please get on with your day and enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell icon. Goodbye and stay safe.